Mental's the only one that has any idea what this bit is, so go, Mental. Give it a shot.
Eric, are they feeding you? I don't see today's paper. How do we know it's actually you?
I don't know. I just know I'm looking extra kidnappy with 2 blankets in my studio.
Yeah. 2 blankets and sucky internet.
That's about right.
Let's start this show.
It's tough in Kandahar.
At least we're accurate.
Oh, here it is. Welcome to EveryoneRacers, a podcast designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. Whatever kind of LeChamp or track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate. We even think you Dripto Hella Flush guys are, right? As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes from the world of low buck racing, and if you can handle it, Chrissy will give you just the tip. I'll be your pit marshal. Everyone report to the paddock.
Hey, this is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are EveryoneRacers. Are we going to have the music on the whole time? Okay. Thanks for coming back to listening to another unbelievable episode. And I did thesaurus that, and I wanted to come up with something that had a good and a better connotation of our podcast. We are on episode 28, I think, which is amazing still. And we also have a very special guest, Eric Rood, who for some strange reason keeps coming back to this silly podcast and brings all kinds of great things to talk about. So we'll let him introduce himself again, as we usually do in a little bit. What are you working on, Jeff?
Oh, me first. Well,
you are first.
The snowpocalypse that was supposed to hit last week did not hit. So all weekend I finished Josh's floors. All the cat pee smell is out. The wood vinyl paneling is down. The molding is done. And we went to IKEA and we bought a bunch of furniture because I am going to be building this starting tomorrow with tomorrow's snow out in the state of New Jersey. We are recording this on 3/20, so on Wednesday we're supposed to get a crap ton of snow. I am building an IKEA hack loft bed with hidey hole. So Josh will have a little playpen under the bed, and we'll have lots of storage when he gets old enough. And
that's fun.
Hides his porn and weed.
It says hidey hole sounds like bad parenting timeout. Josh, do we need to put you in the hide? No!
Actually, I think Eric Rood is calling us from the hidey hole. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's not as cool as IKEA furniture. Oh, didn't you get a fire system?
Oh, we did, yes. Racer. Well, I didn't actually work on that. It just arrived in a box. Racer Parts Warehouse has sent us Wholesale. Racer Parts Wholesale sent us the fire system that I bought like 2 months ago. It finally showed up.
That's actually perfect because it's 2 more months on the expiration date.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Well, and we didn't need it then anyway, so it's not like it's late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chrissy, what do you...
That's a sunny side up kind of perspective on everything. Good job, guys.
Sure.
Chrissy, what are you up to?
I
don't know.
Right? So tomorrow is my sister Jen's birthday. Happy birthday, Jen.
Happy birthday, Jen.
Yay! We partied all weekend. We had a great St. Patrick's Day theme, and then we're going to party again tomorrow in the snowpocalypse. Fortunately, she lives up the street, so we'll have a party here tomorrow. We finished up the office. Chris will tell you more about that, but we have it's done, right? I don't think we have anything left.
Pretty much.
It is. Oh yeah, we have a couple things to hang on the walls, but basically I got down on my hands and knees and cleaned the carpets with our I cleaned them a couple times, and they're done. And then I did another couple rooms on the second floor just because I had it running. And also on Sunday I ran a pretty good Girl Scout event, that one I've been prepping for 120 girls. And I had a whole bunch of them that I walked by after the event, and they said, I had so much fun. And I said, you know what? That makes all the difference. It was good. So
awesome.
Keeping me busy. How about Chris? What are you doing?
Housework. Because it's stupid cold and snowing still here, and I'm totally sick of it, and I want spring to come here because I have a ton of car work to do. Like, every car needs something. Every single one. But no, we're going to get a foot of snow tomorrow. So out comes the janky-ass snowblower again, getting ready to go again.
The death machine!
Yes, Chrissy?
But because we had to do housework, we're actually getting really close to the floors and the cabinets being in and the walls being done in the kitchen.
I'd be
So
just ready to install 800 square feet of hardwood when except up Easter. So
getting there though.
Anyway, progress. Mental, what are you doing?
So speaking of snowpocalypse and miserable existence, I mowed my lawn on Sunday. It was like 70 degrees.
That's crazy. You had enough lawn that it needed to be mowed?
Well, because I have Bermuda grass, so it comes back kind of slow. But yeah, I wanted to get it out there and get a good even trim and do all my hedge work, and then get the anti-weed and the fertilizer down before it all came up. And then I've got most of the. I set out last night, with the what will become your cyclone bomb cold front that moved in during a thunderstorm, with both my garage doors open, and kept working on the V-Star Bobber project, which is on my Instagram. I've actually got that thing almost completely pulled apart.
All 5 of your lit watchers can see it.
Yeah, I was going to say it was Insta what?
Hey, Eric, I don't know if you know this, but if you trim the hedges, the building looks taller.
Really?
I would think Mental spent so much time.
I haven't been outside in months. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, perfect.
Eric, what are you doing?
Well, besides fighting with really terrible internet, I am planning for Hooptiecon, which is going to be great, and it's this weekend in Sonoma. So, 24 hours of lemons, Radwood, Concourse Bulletproof, the Gambler 500, Arcane Auto Society, the Fiat of America Club, and more people are all going to be there. It's going to be great.
Nice.
Wow. So,
fix it again, Tony.
Yeah. This is a perfect segue into news and notes. What else can you tell us about this fantastic event and why people might want to show up?
It's basically the biggest collection of hoopties outside of like old Coots back 40 in Colorado. So you're gonna have 169 24 hours of Lemons cars racing, and then on top of that you have all these awesome shows in the paddock, and cool people are going to be there, like Mike Musto and Jason Camisa, Matt Farah, Ilana Shear. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. What's up, Mental?
Well,
I say, and not just Hoopties, because Radwood is, last Radwood, they had that Gullwing 500 SEL, and I know Farah is probably going to bring his SL or his 500 up, and that's actually like non-Hoopty, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I guess God, you have to play with marketing speak with this crap, but basically you're calling them not yet classics, or
it's Brownell. You don't have to play any marketing speak at all,
or whatever. I like it.
Yeah, everyone likes it.
Yeah,
go follow Radwood on Facebook.
Yeah.
Are all the cars mixed in? So, or is there like a section of the paddock? Because that has a tiered paddock a little bit. Are they just like Lemon racing, then cool car, then something else?
Yeah. So basically, you have the paddock is the way it normally is. So the lowest part is all Lemons cars, and then there's an upper paddock which Radwood's got the biggest one of those, and they have more than 200 cars coming, which is phenomenal.
Wow. Holy crap, that's good.
That's huge.
Yeah, and then there's two smaller lots. I think we're going to put all the Concours, Bulletproof, and Arcane Auto Society, because it's all kind of the same general kind of stuff in the adjacent lot, and then we have a third lot that should have another 30 or 40 cars in it, maybe more. We might get an influx of people showing up also. We have no idea what to expect, basically, at this point.
So if you can,
great,
carpool.
Unless you have a cool car, then bring that one.
And Eric had mentioned my two favorite parts of the event. The Crap Can Film Festival, is that still happening?
Yes.
And the whatever, Cook on the Engine cooking contest?
Yeah. So there's two extra things that we're doing that are things that Jay's wanted to do for a long time. And one of them is the Great Engine Heat Barbecue Cook-Off, where you have to cook. That means, whatever. It's a Lemons race. You're going to find weird stuff. And we have 6 entries for that. They're all Lemons cars. So it'll be cars cooking on the racetrack, which is going to be great. And then after that, the night kind of ends with the Crap Can, like Cannes, the film festival, and crap can, which is kind of, we're going to give out a few awards, I think, and then kind of just splice in some other stuff that we think's funny. So it'll be 90 minutes of like really good videos, kind of curated by Lemons HQ, and with most of them being submitted by viewers. Go mental.
How many times did Phil ask if he could enter any of his art footage from when he was in school? And I'm probably one of 7 people that's actually watched a lot of his weird crap on his YouTube channel, like just the bizarro footage of him driving out of the parking garage in like 1982 in a '76 Nova.
Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. As much as we like Phil, I think we're going to get one. There may be one Little Trees in Junkyard Cars compilation, and he kept insisting that he should bring a jump drive with Manta Manta, the 1970s German film. And,
of course he did. Of course.
And I don't think we're going to go with that. But he was very adamant that should be playing in the background during the entire day. So, maybe next year.
Which is good. When we get to it, is going to lead to our main topic so well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's $20 to get in. You can just show up at the gate and pay $20. You get to see all this stuff. Go to a Lemons race. Watch Mike Musto attempt to eat food cooked out of an engine. It's going to be a spectacle.
And is it all day Saturday and Sunday, or is it what's the
It's just Saturday.
Just Saturday.
So
okay.
Saturday, March 24th.
Great.
Yeah. One day only.
And participants in the whole Hooptiecon, here's the thing. If you're even remotely handy with a wrench, there's a better than average chance sometime Saturday, if you wander down to the Lemons paddock, you'll get your $20 back worth in beer. Hey, look, just hold this wrench right here while we pull this bolt out the other side, So, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. It's worth $20. It's a bargain at twice the price.
Yeah, I wish we were close enough to go. But
I really do.
Wrong side of the country.
Wrong coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. We're going to get him out here to Atlanta Motorsports Park, though, and it's going to be awesome.
Cool. Still
Awesome.
Long way away, but all right. Well, that's a great start to news and notes. What else do we have going on this week? Jeff, I know you had something strange.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like reporting on this stuff, but I do watch a lot of the autonomous self-driving cars, and a self-driving car hit a pedestrian in Tempe, Arizona, and killed the poor woman. It's very upsetting. Uber immediately pulled all of the self-driving vehicles out of Arizona on Sunday evening. It was pretty much, obviously, everybody was freaking out. The robots are killing us. And then later, actually, it was yesterday, Tempe Police Chief Sylvia Moyar, I don't know how to pronounce it, told the San Francisco Chronicle that it probably wasn't the autonomous vehicle's fault. Quote, I suspect preliminarily it appears to be Uber would likely not be at fault in this accident. She said, I won't rule out potential files of charges against the backup driver in the Uber vehicle. And she said that the driver had little time to react. It was like a flash. The person walked out in front of them. The first alert was the sound of the body hitting the vehicle. And immediately Tempe Police said, we don't do that. We have never commented on whose fault it would be, and this all sucks, and please stop talking, Chief of Police. Go, man.
Well, I can see why they back off this, because this is the legal fight that we knew was coming.
Absolutely.
Is, how responsible are you for your autonomous vehicle, which kind of, depending on what kind of a level of blame, starts to remove the prime marketing point, which is I could go out, get hammered, have my robot car drive me home. But if my robot car is no better than I am, then I might as well have driven drunk.
Yeah, I mean, there is a law in the state of Arizona that says if a commercial company is running an autonomous vehicle, they are responsible for any accident it has, no matter who the driver was, if it was in autonomous mode. So that law kind of speaks directly against what the chief of police was saying. And this was specifically done in this state because they knew Uber was going to be running these autonomous vehicles.
Dealing with liability as much as I do and auto yeah, I can tell you that it doesn't mean that they're just going to pay up just for fun because they said so. It's more a matter of if they are the ones who are responsible for it after an appropriate investigation, then yes, then they will be able to pay. But if this woman just jumped out from behind a car under the Volvo, they're not just going to go stroking a check. So
Yeah, it was a Volvo XC90, by the way.
I'd like to point out that Chris introduced insurance conversation before I introduced an old Air Force story. So
That rarely happens around.
it rarely happens.
Usually, I'm not quick enough on the draw. Well,
I'm gonna introduce a new term: death by autonomous vehicle. So
There you go. So this is a sad story. Obviously, more to come. This is going to be argued and debated about in the world of cars and autonomous vehicles and Uber and obviously the insurance world for a very long time. But, it's big news, and it wasn't Elon Musk. So there you go.
Hey, Mental.
Elon Musk story from Jeff.
Mental, you have another way to talk about potentially ways to kill yourself with cars that are a little more fun. What's this story you've got?
So, if you have been living under a rock and you have not seen this, Road Atlanta has a new track record, a 1 minute, 1 second, 2:16. Now, the race record, just to give you guys a sphere of reference, the race record is a minute, 23 seconds, and that was Ben Spies in 2008 on a Gixxer 1000. Previous track record was a minute 24.7 in a Nissan GTR, but this was an old Ferrari Formula One car. Now, I know they had some stuff about Jalopnik, and Eric, you've got some perspective on that too.
Yeah, the ALMS, the last year Petit Le Mans with LMP1 cars, the pole was a 109. So
109. Still
109.
Wow.
109.
Yeah.
And so they went out there in this basically vintage, and I say that term knowing that I'm talking about Formula One, vintage Formula One Ferrari V10, I believe, car, and go to Jalopnik and watch this, because it is actually, having driven, everyone here has driven that track. It is just intoxicating to watch. It is beautiful. Now, to give you guys a larger sense of scale, Road and Track and Friends, when we were running the American Endurance Racing out there last in February, I think Sam Smith turned to 147. We were running 149s, 150s. When we were out there in the snow apocalypse of the Road Atlanta, which I still blame you guys for bringing that snow with you, the RX 3.8 had a 151, and the Civic, the Turbo Civic, was running a 153 when you guys finally got it straightened out on Sunday. So knock, I don't know, 52 seconds off that, and you're right up there with a Formula One Ferrari. So well done on that one.
More boost.
50.
More boost.
No way.
Yeah.
52 seconds. That's a lot.
That's crazy. I actually watched this footage that was posted by Steph and Eric from the DFL show, and I was
Follow
very
them
upset.
on Facebook.
I followed them on Facebook. It wasn't the full lap, whatever video you sent. You posted. I was very upset. It ended right before it went down the hill, and I was like, "That's the part I wanted to see." So
It started there, though. But yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, if you were running a 153, you would almost get lap. Almost.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
You
crazy.
literally
That's
would-
crazy.
And a 153 is respectable at Road Atlanta, especially in a Honda Civic.
totally. But
Yeah.
we're talking about like canoes and battleships here. Let's be honest. So,
Yes.
Yes.
is there another story? This one is equally as depressing as the woman getting killed by the Uber.
No, absolutely not. So the Motorsports Safety Foundation, which, Ross Bentley, if you're not listening to his podcast, you totally should. I think we're all Ross Bentley addicts. So that whole thing, they've introduced the Motorsports Safety Foundation with the whole goal of trying to standardize high-performance driver education, which is long overdue, and they are doing a fantastic job of it. So now they've started graduating their level 2 certified instructors, which are guys that are now certified by the Motorsports Safety Foundation to ride in the car. And the big thing among this is they are standardizing the hand signals. And I could do this, but you're listening to the podcast, but braking, turning, acceleration, all of that means the same. So no matter what you do, and if you go to an MSF, a Motorsports Safety Foundation certified instructor with Porsche Club, with NASA, with Hooked on Driving, you're going to get the same instruction across the board, which is brilliant. And you could read about that. Baruth just got certified as a level 2 guy, and he wrote about it on roadandtrack.com. So you can pop over there and read on that. And if you're an HPD instructor like we all are, it's something to start paying attention to. And I think it's long overdue, and it legitimizes what we do. And I think it's going to make it safer in the long run. I actually expected any of you
I'm
guys
a
had.
big fan of this.
Yes, absolutely. I've got my level 1, and I need to wrap it up and just bite the bullet and go get my level 2. And if nobody's got anything to that end, the company that a lot of folks that we work for, Extreme Experience, they're actually pushing the same thing. So a lot of the Extreme Experience instructors are if not already, are level 1 certified, which is key because Chrissy.
Because Extreme Experience puts you in the driver's seat with some of the world's best supercars at over 20 racetracks. Get out coast to coast with no speed limits, no shifting restrictions, and no governors. Head to xxspeed.com to choose your supercar, find a racetrack near you, and start making a story of your own. There's 7 models of exotic cars and supercars to choose from, 20-plus tracks, and a year-round location in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is beautiful this time of year, with a 3,200-foot straightaway. Pro instructors like Chris, Mental, and Jeff in the car with you, using those hand signals, helping you to explore the car's limits and learn how to drive that racing line. Save 25% when you use the code EveryoneRacers, no space, at xxspeed.com to book today. Extreme Experience, it's your turn.
Wow.
Right.
I work for the company, and I want to go book now. Why did we ever have Jeff read that copy, like, ever?
Because he has a degree in television and radio from
But I have more experience
Djibouti
than Jeff,
College.
because I do this all day.
No, not at all.
For our
I
listeners
read
at
the
home.
first one.
For our listeners at home, I'd like to point out that Chris and Chrissy just did the infamous Lemons
Robot
wrap-up
arms?
video, Robot Arms. That is a $500 card.
You look like you're flying.
I was doing it too.
All right.
Listener feedback time. Mental, you got something?
I do. But before I have this, you know who always gives excellent listener feedback? Chrissy's mom. Chrissy's mom.
did not give feedback.
No.
She was too busy
She
drinking
get-
with daughters this weekend.
They always give us feedback. I just don't remember what it was.
All I know is I've still got my awesome birthday card from your mom hanging on my fridge, and it's going to be there a while because it was a cool
That's
birthday
great.
card. Okay, so last week we actually had one of our more technical shows with JG on board, and we were talking about some of the different things.
we were the most professional we have ever been.
Yes, and listening to that,
And we threw it in the toilet this week by inviting Eric back. So you know.
Oh, I think we started
No,
there
no.
and brought him in.
Hey, we're right back. We're
Yeah,
right
what-
back to our roots here now. This is where we're going to be fun.
if Eric can't broadcast on a podcast, how is he ever going to raise the ransom to get him out of the basement there in Kandahar? So,
True.
all right. So Vicky W, who was listening last week, even though she didn't want to, she just had to be in the same room. She noticed that when we were talking about high performance driver education, Mental had his teacher voice. So Mental was introducing, no, kids, now let's stay on topic here. So that was the direct listener feedback within 10 seconds of concluding that episode. She goes, "Oh God, you had your teacher voice on." Jeff, you've got something.
No, I have a different one. I was going to wait for you to finish. I have another.
Oh, yeah,
He's
no,
done.
you've got listener feedback. I'm done. That's the
Okay,
only thing
so-
under listener feedback.
Oh, I know, because I forgot to put my notes, but I actually have a listener feedback. So a guy named Bob Last, he was actually listening on the Grassroots Motorsports YouTube page. And he had some interesting things to say about the tire pressure discussion that we had on the HPDE. He basically said that adding tire pressure is more of an autocross thing than a track thing. And he said most cars will actually get too high of pressure when you put them on the track because of how hot the tires get. And some cars like less than stock pressure. He has a second half, but I want to mention that here is that that's exactly what we were saying, is that you will have trouble if you let your tires, tires lower than stock get you good stick. Tires higher than stock last a little longer.
I don't know,
But-
but it's really so car dependent and tire dependent
It's
too.
so car dependent, exactly.
But
And then he says the most important thing is the tire pressure gauge. And he said, Chris, that guy who killed his front tire while you were instructing him was probably a lack of camber, not a lack of pressure.
Ooh.
So I just wanted to get your thought on
Sure.
that.
I think it was a bit of both, and mostly what I think it was overdriving by 10%. That's what it was.
Absolutely.
And because after that, when we practiced not overdriving and preserving the car, it all worked very nicely. So
I think the key here is that most people are HPDing on street tires.
Sure.
And it's a drastically different place than performance track or even autocross tires. And that's what we're kind of trying to get across.
Yep.
Cool.
That's
Well, so it's like he's a new listener.
I hope he's listening.
This goes right back to Mental's feedback though at the time of shoe polish on the tires, sees where they're rolling over, and if you have a pyrometer to check your tire temperatures across the tread, that's an even better way. So
definitely
great. So now we're on to our main topic, which I'm pretty excited about this topic, frankly.
Seriously.
And especially, I'm even more excited that Eric decided to join us at the last minute. I don't know why he keeps accepting our invitations, but here he is. Eric's going to have a lot of good feedback on this one. It's going to be great.
It really is.
Mental, do you want to start us off?
Okay. Now, folks, our main topic tonight is themes. Now, and I get it. A lot of you feel like, oh, here goes all of our American endurance racing guys are turning off right now. Now, themes.
If they were listening to start with.
Hey, we've got some AER fans.
Oh, okay.
But themes, yes. Lemons is built on themes. The whole thing was just to get everyone to stop taking themselves so seriously, and I think they've done a great job on that one. But themes are not just for Lemons, and this isn't a Lemons podcast. This is an entry-level, every man kind of deal. And so we do themes because we think it's funny, but going through this, having your sense of team identity, building your brand, he said with finger quotes, if you will, that can work for any racing team. You got a guy that's coming just to work on your car while you're running your Formula V, have some team t-shirts, have a theme, have a team identity, and it's going to help people out. And Chris, I know you've got some thoughts on this.
I think it also helps tell your competitors in whatever venue you're in that you actually might be somebody interesting enough to talk to. And you might actually have a sense of humor. It's a great way to start conversations. It's a great way to make friends, be memorable on track, and not just a black BMW that is completely forget. You don't remember what's going on.
Just another E36.
Just another,
right. Whatever. Be interesting. The whole point of going to the track is to have fun. So have some fun. Chrissy?
We do it to amuse ourselves, identify our cars as they go around the track. I think is helpful too. Like we're not just like, oh, which black car are you? You're like, oh, you're the giraffe. And then if other people enjoy them, then all the better. Yeah. Go ahead, Mental.
And a lot of us also listen to the Ross Bentley podcast, and he just had Hayward, the new chair of the SCCA, and that was one of the things he was talking about. Is the SCCA's new direction is fun with cars, and I think theming, no matter what level you're doing this at, theming falls into fun with cars.
And Eric, feel free to jump at any point on here because I know you've got lots of stuff to say on this subject, so don't hesitate.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it's 100% true, and while the stuff that we end up writing about is usually the giraffe or Mr. Fister or whatever the case may be, the thing I really like on somebody who just has a normal Mustang or whatever is if you paint something clever somewhere on the car in a place where the judge might not see it, it's pretty obvious that you're doing this to amuse yourself. And for me as a judge, seeing people enjoy themselves, I mean, that lets me know that they're not taking this, they're not expecting the IMSA scouts to show up or whatever the hell people
I saw them.
Think.
They show up.
Oh, yeah.
They have a hat and a clipboard.
The scouts are called accountants.
Yeah, they're just there to collect your check. If you can get a check, you're an IMSA driver.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that we've decided to kind of group themes into 4 basic categories that cover most themes. We've got car-based themes. We've got kind of ridiculousness and just general pop culture-ish. We've got timely topical themes, and then there's always Lemons inside jokes. So I'm going to start us off with car-based themes. And sometimes the car really writes the theme for you. Other times you're seeking out a car because you have a great theme and you need just the right car for it. In both cases, it has to be just right. You can't.
Is it right to ask about the Citroen paperwork right about now, or am I screwing up your wrist?
Well, it's always a good time to ask about the Citroen paperwork, Jeff.
So I called Rhode Island.
You did not.
I did call Rhode Island, and I was told
just Rhode Island. He got Abbott.
no.
Abbott
Called the
Anderson.
same lady. She says, "Honey, it's coming." I don't know what that. Do we know when? No, I don't know when, but it's coming. I know. I saw it.
Okay, you know what? We asked you to call, and you did.
Honey, it's coming could be
Honey,
a
it's
theme
coming.
in and of itself.
Chris, get us back on top.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
inside jokes part of this
Right,
segment.
there you go.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna do that, you need to find font from the Honey I Shrunk the Kids poster, and just work that in there,
Perfect.
please.
So, with the car-based themes, it has to be just right. You can't fudge it. You can't have something close enough. It has to be right. So here's an example of the car who writes the themes for you. The boat. For those that aren't familiar, this is our third Lemons car ever. It was a Chevy S10, and then we went on Craigslist and found a boat for $75. I think I overpaid. And
It came
You
with a
did.
trailer.
You totally did.
but I sold the trailer for $75 with no title, so it worked out great. We then cut a hole in the bottom of the 16-foot Sea Sprite and mounted it to the S10 and proceeded to race it like that. So, Mental, what's up?
If you Google, folks, if you're listening and you don't know what he's talking about, literally to this day, if you Google S10 race boat, it's the first picture that comes up. In fact, it's the first 7 pictures that come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I'm doing that
Lemon's
right now.
boat.
Lemon's boat.
also works.
Oh, yeah. No,
So
he's not going to try Lemon's boat.
we raced the boat for 11 or 12 races for a couple of years. We had a great time with it. And so much of the reason we had a great time with it is because it created or enabled so many unique themes. We started off with "I'm on a Boat" by the Saturday Night Live song by Lonely Planet, T-Pain, right? That we did that, and then we had to do it again because it was so funny. We had a great Jaws theme where with the fly bridge and the buckets on the hood, and
My
Don't
favorite.
forget Chrissy's hysterical dress.
yeah, Chrissy was being eaten by a shark. That was her dress.
Yes.
We had a Gilligan's Island theme, which involved most of the team in drag, one way or the other. We had, so that's just a good example of the car enabling a theme. Also, the Rolls Royce we had a 1969 Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. It was $1,000. It was brown. It was spectacular and tragic, but it was a perfect excuse for a Monopoly theme for the whole team. And
We wore lots of monocles that year.
oh yeah, we had so many. We had so much mustard. It was everywhere.
Yeah, we did. All the brave pod they had. We just kept giving it to people.
The Citroen SM is another example that we still have, Jeff. And when we had it, we said, well, there's no way we can't do an S and M theme because Citroen SM. Eric, what did you think of that?
What was the Citroen safe word, Jeff? Do you remember?
What was the what?
No.
You cut out a little there.
Citroen safe-
Your safe word.
Oh, the safe word. The safe
Safe
word
word.
was Chowabunga Wunga. Wait, let me see if I can't remember.
Come on.
I don't remember. Chargagagog, Manchagagog, Chawumba
Oh, it's pretty
Gog,
close.
Ahog.
Close enough.
Well, that is the name
Close
of the
enough.
race. It's
Yeah,
the
Yeah, exactly.
the GP Dulak Chargagagog Manchagagog Chawbungagungamog, which is the name for the race.
He said Chowbunga in the middle of it.
I know.
Yeah.
He did.
Some-
He gets knocked down, but he gets back up again.
That's right.
Okay, all right, let's keep
Especially
going.
when he's
So we
wearing
went
his
to-
gimp outfit for all weekend. I think Jeff actually scarred the track manager at Thompson over the course of the weekend. But that's a great example. We spread that to all of our cars. I mean, the Civic became Mr. Fister. The TR was the gimp. Like it worked in all the cars, and it all just came from the one from the Citroen. Yeah, Chrissy.
And we kind of bought the Citroen knowing that we would do this theme. Like you kind of were looking for that. It was different and weird, but you knew that this is what we had to do. So it was kind of like you were looking for it, and it made the theme.
Well, no one had ever done a really kind of hardcore, disturbing S&M theme, which bothered me. So,
Well, we did now.
It bothers you that no one has
Right.
bothered.
well, we ruined it now for everyone else, which I'm happy
Well,
about.
there was another team that did it, and they didn't do it nearly as well, and they were like, "Oh, we
Yeah.
picked the wrong
So-
race to do this one."
So,
Which that in and of itself is a theme.
and you don't even have to be as wacky as that. Yeah, so those are all wacky. A great example is a car the Mental had back in Oklahoma. It was the Spec Pinata Miata. they were making fun of Spec Miata and how they all just crash into each other all the time. But they made the car this great multicolor like thing with the fuzzies on it. And they had all had their Mexican blankets and mustaches and hats, and they have great Mexi food bribes because the lovely and talented Victoria would make these things for the judges. And other things like Interceptor Motorsports, or if we're in the Northeast, they had the authentic Bluesmobile. They didn't just have a BMW with some guys in ties and sunglasses. They had a '74 Plymouth Fury that they put the Dodge grill on, and they owned it, and that's what the car themes are about. So, in the key element of this, it has to be right. It has to be recognizable as a sight gag, if possible. Like if you see it in the picture and you get it, you're doing it right. Bonus points for great costumes with it. Bonus points for multi-car themes. Step back.
There are
and
no
look
points. It's just you get cred.
Awesomeness points.
Right. Awesomeness.
Right.
Go ahead.
Life points.
Rood's got something. He's itching. I can see.
You end up infamous on the internet is what happens. Like
Oh.
so much video. There's so much unused video of Jeff dressed as the gimp. There's so much. There's so much.
Actually, that leads into what I'm going to say is it's really not about the first kernel of the idea. It's about the ridiculousness and how well you're going to make it happen.
Commit to the idea.
Commit to the idea. Like a lot of times there are some really great ideas and some things that are done poorly, and they sound exactly the same, but it's how ridiculous you got. So, like, if you're stealing a theme from a TV or a movie, you need to do it right. A Gold Thunder chicken on your E36, and you suck. But if you turn your car into Snowman's truck, you win. You see, it's the same movie. They watched the same thing, but one of them did it right. And really, physically changing the shape of your car is a key to success with a lot of themes.
Good call.
On the internet, if you look at the Ryder truck, the airport steps, our giraffe, all of these things change the shape of the car. There's a lot of helicopters. There's a lot of tanks out there. The ones that are cool are shaped like a helicopter or a tank. And that makes a difference between what's a great theme and what's a meh theme, So you also have to sometimes avoid the obvious. If you can see the car, there's a movie coming out. It's called Ready Player One, and it's
So excited because I'm a nerd.
It has every pop culture reference on the planet in it. If your car is in that movie, you made a mistake. BA's van, the DeLorean time machine, the General Lee, these have all been done before. And if you're going to bring one of those to the Lemons race, it better be frickin' perfect, like Interceptor Motorsports that Chris was already mentioning. I'm going to tell you, though, the way to win is to go deep. All right? The Deliverator. There have been so many good Deliverator themes, and they don't get old. Half the world out there is going, what the hell is the Deliverator, Jeff? I don't even know. It's some whacked out sci-fi
Read the book Snow Crash.
Yeah, Snow Crash is the book. I don't know what this is.
Ask Phil when he's been drinking.
Yeah, but
That's Eric's line.
Yes.
exactly. But it's a reference that is not obvious. Dale's Bug Van, whatever that was, that
yeah.
And Knox Vegas did, yeah. From
Knox Vegas
King of
did
the
that.
Hill.
It was great for King of the Hill. Don't bring out the last V8 Interceptor. Make the Doof Wagon. Okay, this is how you do it right. Professor Fate's Hannibal 8, the push the button Max from the Great Race. I can't remember the names of the guys who did that, but they were in their costumes all weekend. It's a theme that not everybody sees. Was the car perfect like the one in the movie? No, but they went deep and they found that deep one, and that's the key.
Eric, what's up?
Yeah, the deepest one we've ever seen was from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and somebody recreated Doobie's Taxiola, which is literally in the movie. It's literally in the movie for like 24 seconds or something. It's amazing, and they got it down to every detail, and it's the
but when you do something that rare, you don't have to get every detail, and I think that's the difference. So
I would also argue Corvette Summer. The Team Tiny Vets Corvette Summer was pretty
absolutely
friggin'
excellent.
That wasn't Tiny Vet. Tiny Vet's on the West
No.
Coast.
Oh,
That
sorry,
was,
Tiny Vet. It was East Coast guys. Oh, but yeah,
that was a
it was
Miata under there,
it was a
right?
Miata. It was
GDS,
amazing.
GDS Miata, but it was the
was under
level of
45
detail was
pounds
fantastic.
Of fiberglass, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where the whole really comes to. It's go big or go home, okay? You really need to just seriously check it out. The Z3 that looks like the Ranchero. If you're totally rebodying your car, good job.
It's an AMX, but okay.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you caught that.
No,
one.
this.
It's an AMX.
What's the Ranchero?
There's an
something
E30 that they made into a
Oh,
Ranchero.
it's E30 Ranchero. Thank you. And then the Z4. Yeah, thanks. AMX. So we were challenged a few times. For a long time, those of you who know, Judge Phil said, somebody's got to do Springtime for Hitler.
No, that was
I think it was Chris.
That was me.
That was Jay.
That was
no.
No, that was me.
There
It
was
was
a lot
Chris.
of talk
It was
about
Jay. It was 100%. That was.
I'd been talking about it for years too, and yeah.
So
the Jewish
we said,
guy.
if there's anybody who's going to do it, it's going to be us, and we went all out. We had pink, light blue, what was it, light green, camouflage,
It was
Springtime.
Easter camo.
Easter camouflage. The boat obviously became a boat, was a U-boat. We had a guy dressed like Hitler. We had dancing girls with sausages.
I made armbands for everybody.
Armbands.
That said 3 p.m.
Absolutely. We are never going to get elected to any
Nope.
office.
There is a picture of me in a 3 p.m. brown shirt outfit that will preclude me from holding. Although I have to say, anyone who has access to that photo would probably never use it against me. Would probably use it. No, you know what? This guy totally needs to be in office because clearly.
He knows what he's doing.
On the Trump ticket, you might have a shot, but we're going to go there.
Don't you dare.
But what I'm saying is, you got to go all in and you got to go all out to be really fantastic. And nobody has to get it. You have to get it and you have to enjoy it. I'm going to say one more quick story and then I'm going to pass it off to Chrissy. The internet, as you all know, is filled with discussions about bacon, and the Lemons boards are no different. And I was tired of it. I had a conversation with Soggy that almost blew my mind. I literally said, wow, it's the best bacon in the world. And he said, I don't know. I've never had every bacon in the world. And he started talking about how they killed the pig and how they smoked it. I'm like, we are just too far down the frickin' bacon rabbit hole.
And anytime Soggy starts sounding intelligent, and I know that Soggy does a really, really smart, like his job involves him being highly intelligent, but when he starts sounding intelligent is when it gets scary.
So I put a word out to all of my team that we were going to change our theme, and it was going to be the Coalition of Alternate Breakfast Meat. And we were going to hijack every discussion on the Lemons board and just change it. When they talk about bacon, we're going to talk about sausage. They talk about bacon, we're going to talk about scrapple. They talk about bacon, we're going to talk about Spam. Now, we already had a Spam-themed car, so we literally repainted our cars. One as pork roll, New Jersey's favorite breakfast meat. One as scrapple, the other gray meat. We had the Rolls Royce at that point, so we called it full English breakfast. What was it? Beans and toast.
With beans
right?
and toast, yep.
Toast. And there's one other one, right? What else did I be missing? What was the Civic?
I don't remember. Whatever.
I don't remember.
The Civic was the Spam can because that was still in the days of the Wagoneer.
No.
Oh,
it was
no
well,
way.
well after that. All right, whatever. Keep going, Jeff.
But anyway, so we ran a flag with a piece of bacon on it with an X on it. Somebody came near me and shoved bacon into my mouth. It was hilarious.
Okay. Eric, anything else on this?
No, I guess if people aren't super familiar with Three Pedal Mafia, you're the right people to be getting theme advice from. I should have said that at the top of this segment, but
Thank you.
You guys have
That's an
always
honor.
crushed the theme, so this is this is expert advice in the subject. So
and it's timely because we are actually changing our theme right now. We're going to do a multi-car theme that is going to happen once a week.
Yep.
So, I'm not telling you what it is.
No.
Well,
no.
we can hint which category. It's a bit topical, a bit timely. It's a bit Lemon's inside joke. And
Yeah, it doesn't really have anything to do with the car.
Nothing to do with the car.
No.
Okay, so I'm talking topical. So here are some things you might want to consider. What is popular? Is there a video that's gone viral? Is there a song that people can't stop talking about? Is there something that just people can't get enough of? So one of my favorites is actually I looked back 2012, which is our rendition of Gangnam Style, which is actually I looked back up again. Released in July of 2012 and was the most watched video in November of 2012. We did this in October of 2012. So really right in the middle of Gangnam Style.
And our video is also, you should go and see it on YouTube.
Nope, it's already on the Facebook, already posted. So it was only, an hour ago and people are commenting on it. Anyway, in case you don't remember, it's on Facebook.
Jeff has it.
I must have watched
We don't have
this.
the rights for that. I've turned that down.
I must have watched this video a couple times, and I said this is great, and Chris was like, we should not call it that. It's not really that great. So I said it is the best rendition. The best one take rendition of Gangnam Style. So we had the characters down pretty well, even for lack of practicing. We didn't practice, so there's that. Yeah. But it's on the Facebooks, and if you just I think you Google Three Pedal Mafia Gangnam Style, it shows the first one up.
Yeah,
so
because I still show that to my students.
Oh,
that's a shame.
Sad. We're all dressed, but it's still not great. Okay, so some other ones that we thought were good were there's a team that did a Bill Cosby theme particularly well at Thompson last year, which was really timely. And they had they were equipped with girls that were like lying all over the ground and all over the car. And there was a guy that looked just like Bill Cosby, and then he had a sweater and
Jello shots.
He was giving they were questionable Jello shots is what they were. It was hell's.
Eric, you had some of those Jello shots. How were they?
They smelled so potent. I was like, I can't actually do this while I'm technically working.
It was early too.
Ironically, that is the team that attempted to do the S&M theme at the same race that you guys did.
Shades of Triple
and they also did. Yeah, also Game of Crumple Zones was them as well, I believe.
They are a great team.
They theme hard.
They keep changing their team name. So
Yeah.
I never knew what to call them because
we don't know who they are.
They're team
and they just
fake
have
news now. They're getting a little aggro on course actually these days, but they still theme well.
Yeah.
All right, so another one of our fans. We've talked already about them, Knox Vegas Lowballers, who are fantastic. They ran a minivan that was equipped with a huge fidget spinner on top that rode it. It was awesome. So it was huge, and I think it was made of wood. Like it was not really. They were so concerned about the fidget spinner that it was not really like part of the race car that they cared about making going fast. A couple people were shaking their heads.
But it's fun, and that was the important part.
And they did it before Jeff was like, "We have to do this," and they did it before we got to it.
I was like, "Guys, we need a fidget spinner." They were like, "Did it
done." So then there was another one. This is way back before 2012. On the West Coast, there was a team, Eyesore, and they did a Sesame Street, not Wall Street, when the whole meltdown was happening. And they had the only thing I remember was Elmo had a sign that said "Tickle Down on Economics," and I just thought it was hilarious. And they had like full out costumes too. It was awesome.
Yeah, Eyesore does fantastic themes.
They do.
They are the West Coast hardcore themers, hardcore racers, have won a lot in their Miata.
Actually, West Coast does really good. Sometimes they do more themes than we do.
Yeah.
They're pretty impressive.
They're great quality out there. That's where you get things like all Eyesore does, like Nyan Cat, and all those kind of wonderful
Oh God,
things.
yes.
The Nyan car. Nyan car is it is somehow funnier now that it's like 6 years out of date, and I don't know why. And
right, so
you can't help but laugh at it. All right, so Nyan Cat, it's Nyan, by the way. I messed that up. Yeah. So it was this stupid internet meme, like a single serving website that just plays this annoying, ridiculous song of a cat flying a cat made out of a Pop-Tart that farts rainbows or poops rainbows and plays this silly song. So the car is a cat pooping rainbows, and they play this song at probably actually over the decibel limit.
I see Jeff madly
It's loud.
Googling over there. I feel like we're going to hear the song pretty soon.
There you go. It plays the whole race.
Which is hilarious when you go past the car and you hear it
Yes.
as you go by.
Or when it goes.
Best part is
Go ahead.
the Doppler effect on it is the best part because he gets
It comes and goes.
yeah.
Okay, when you're at Sonoma and it goes around the hairpin at the very end, and that's right where the garages are. So you hear it every 2 minutes. You hear it and it comes around, and then everybody looks, and then it goes away, and everybody laughs. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
There was a car in Atlanta that was playing it too, but it was not the original.
No.
It's not as funny.
They weren't
one's
as
original.
good.
Okay, so a couple more that I had was the Harlem Shake. That was when that was popular. I think that was more of a judges thing, but it was funny, and they used it for a penalty, and it was topical and hilarious. There were a bunch of Trump themes around the election and after, but none of them were really notable, fantastic. But it's always an easy thing to do.
I have one that I really, really liked. Is
Okay.
they thought they all came out and they were like Trumpers, and they had the shirts and the hats and everything. And then at inspection, Antifa came out and tagged the car with no Trump. I thought that was really good. I thought they did a good job at that one.
I didn't.
It's a good twist.
You might have missed that one.
It's a
Yeah,
good
it was a good
twist.
twist.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that's easy to be topical. And the last thing is really, if you're trying to find a topical theme, make sure you pull it off. As Jeff said, you have to pull it off so they know what they're doing. So either the car has to say it, be painted like it, wear the costumes all weekend, or you just don't remember it. So, yeah. And also expect these to be one and done themes.
Unless you're Yankat.
Sure.
Yes. Where you have multiple.
There are things that are just funny, and that's one of them.
So, Mental, what about other funny Lemons inside joke things? Let's talk about those.
Well, and we're bumping up against the end of this, and I do want to make sure that Chrissy gets her chance. So I'm going to push through this as quickly. But this is the reality, folks. Now, we're not a Lemons podcast. We are an entry-level endurance racing podcast. But the fact of the matter is that Lemons started this nonsense. Okay. Every endurance entry-level series out there should owe a tip of the hat and kiss of the ring to the Godfather, which is Lemons. And they have been around long enough now to spawn those at least 5 other entry-level series that I can think of. So there's going to be some inside jokes. The most famous of one is, of course, the Kim Harmon Scrotium, episode from the Lemons wrap-up video, which now has its own race, which is great. I just posted a link on our Facebook. Judge Phil wrote a naughty book a few years ago, and what's really annoying about this naughty novel that he wrote, the porn novel, is it's actually really well written. It's a really interesting story. If you take the sex out of it, because I read the PG version, and it's an interesting novel. Chris, you've got something about Judge Phil's naughty book.
Well, I can't help but hear it all in Phil's voice, and it makes it so much more disturbing.
And then the Nixon sex robot
Yeah.
failed.
So now, if you're looking at the political pop themes, the problem is they get really old. And as Chrissy mentioned, the Gangnam Style. Sometimes they get old at that race. And I quote, if you follow the footage all the way around Speedy Cop's BMW, it says, we were going to do a really hella sweet Gangnam Style theme, but those bastards over at Three Pedal Mafia beat us to it. And they wrote it in Sharpie on their car all the way around the waistline of it because we did beat them to it.
Well,
But-
and we didn't beat them to it by a race. They
No.
literally
They did it.
loaded their car off the trailer, saw that we were in the costumes, and said, "Oh, they got us beat. We can't hold." We got they literally at the track decided to change themes.
Yeah. So when you're talking about themes, not just Lemons, but what you're doing in your race team, understand the themes are like the racers themselves. Some of them are hardcore, some of them are really lazy, some have to win, some just want to have some fun on the whole deal. And so when you're planning a theme, be honest with yourself and be honest with your team. How committed are you? Are you Knox Vegas level where you're going to have 4 cars all themed up? Because everyone talks about the fidget spinner, but no one talks about the entire thing where they did the Ken block. They had the Geo done up, the Mustang.
Love that.
Yeah, the camera car that followed them around. Yeah, it was awesome. You've got Oklahoma, OK Speed. They've got the Tape R, where they'll change themes mid-race, where they started out as the Twinkie car, and then they were the great value car. And literally, everybody's going, wasn't that car a different color yesterday? And they do it all with duct tape. And then, or my friend Jerry, who every season, he grabs a new NASCAR theme, and he's not touching the car for the rest of the season. So know where you are on that one. And then you've got our perpetual lady of downforce, Swayze bid with you, lovely Honda that has passed away since Barber, but they put the Cessna 172 wing on that car, and they did never change themes ever again. It was the Wonder Woman Invisible Jet, and there it stayed. I would just say avoid the beat stuff. Gulf Racing, Speed War, Dukes of Hazzards, everything that Jeff mentioned, Mad Max. If you're looking for something original, something topical, literally catch the last Lemons wrap-up video, because they're going to make a stupid joke. If you're outside of Lemons, consider your team theme as building your brand. Sometimes it only has to be cool or funny to you, like Sputnik and that thing with the 30% more roof. Okay, that was actually funny to everyone who knows.
It's hilarious.
Absolutely.
It really was.
Look,
great.
I put more roof on.
But, a couple of years ago at Barber, I showed up with a Miata that I painted up like an F-16, and it was the Iron Eagle. And everybody kept going, oh, Top Gun theme. No, Iron Eagle. More Lou Gossett Jr., theme song by Queen, Top Gun, hella lame.
Great movie. It's a fantastic
But not just Lemons. Champ Car, they've got some great stuff. The guys over at Fat Crack Racing, they have grabbed this 80s Radwood motif, and they are running with it. It's fantastic. AER, they do try to look like real racers, but there's some great ones out there. A lot of good team identity. The barbecue cars, John Artman and his moldy neon. Big Red, which has really just been around so long that it's become its own theme. Rocksteady that runs WRL. Thunder Bunny that runs those 350Zs. And then you add in the inside jokes where you start making fun of the other teams, like when Three Pedal Mafia did the We're Not Sorry for Party Racing. And
then we changed it to Sorry, SARI for Party. And then we did the end song from the wrap-up video before. Yeah,
nobody got that at all.
Except
Phil. Except for Sorry for Party, too. Yeah. So it's build your identity, have some fun with it, and it goes all the way back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show. Not just in Lemons, but in any of those car series. If you come in with something that's funny and original, and you've got a good team brand, it lets all the officials in that race series know, okay, this person's here for the right reasons. They're not here trying to find the IMSA scouts. And I know that was long-winded, so I'm sorry. Are we going to move on to everyone's favorite segment? Or Eric, do you have anything to add on this one?
I think you got it. I did figure out one real quick. The robot arms thing. I figured out where it came from.
Do tell.
So
the origin story.
It's Nick imitating people typing him all the inane emails that he gets.
Yeah. Got it.
They just migrated up to robot arms.
To robot arms.
Which
for
is
no
even
reason.
funnier because he's a piano player.
I had no idea. Let's move on, everyone. It's time for everyone's favorite part of the show. Just I was going for operatic there. Did it work?
It's very nice. Okay, so when you're deciding on certain aspects of your theme, we're just going to talk, make sure it's safe. So if you're going to put something on the top of your car, make sure it's affixed well. So when we put our car together, we had a bet that our draft head was going to fall off on the first race, and Chris made sure that it was good. He agreed, and he said this is going to stay on, and the other guy lost the bet because the draft head's still on.
3 years
so
later.
That was good. Yep,
Who lost the bet? I didn't even hear that.
Dan.
Toys
Dan.
Toys R Us is bankrupt, but that giraffe head is still on that car.
Right.
All good. And we take it off and on, no problem. So if something falls off your car, it could damage a tire, or someone else can run over it. You don't want to ruin somebody else's weekend if you for something that you lost off of your car. So let's talk costumes. If you are going to make sure your costume is something you can walk around and see through, so you can actually see where you're going. If you plan on wearing it more than just judging, make sure it's wearable. So when walking around in a panda head, I found that the eye holes don't actually line up with human eyes. So
they do if
you
you're
really
a toddler. If you're a little tiny toddler, it is.
Yeah, both of the out of one. This is the beer delivery panda head that you can't do that. Okay, so I found that
and
out.
also your strong bad costume, you did really good on the eyes on that one.
Well, because I made it, but I didn't make a panda head. Okay, and so sometimes your theme might bode well for a paddock ride. If there's the Mystery Machine team has a little go-kart that looks like a mini Mystery Machine, but the guys just, it is awesome. And the guy's head or person's head just sticks out right out the top. And the Limitarians have this pretty janky boat on top of a frame that they pedal or something, and like they water ski behind it. So sometimes it's well, it's still janky. It's fun to have a piece of something together. But if it's going to enhance the theme, but you never know what's going to happen when your teammates have been drinking and decide to take it out for a spin when you're not around. So
that's how you get a rule named after your team.
Right. Well, and this is just like, so then this made me think of the time that one of our arrive and drives made a Surrey and it was great. And then we came back in and it was
like
broken.
4 10-speed bicycles.
And a bed frame, right?
And a bed frame,
welded together.
Sort of welded together.
That didn't really have anything to do with our theme, but it was just the thought that I had after I said we should be careful about the paddock rides you have around and make sure that nobody takes them away and returns them broken in the morning. So just think it through. Make sure nobody has pointy objects, big animal heads that don't fit, or way too high heels.
I think you've had a lot of way too high heel costumes.
I know.
I know.
He wasn't talking to you, Chrissy. He was talking to Eric.
I was talking to Jeff, actually.
No, we had high heels.
Oh, yeah.
When we did
I know. That's why I was saying.
To the gentleman in the red pumps walking through Victory Lane. Your team is waiting for you.
That happened.
Yep.
That happened.
That was Omar.
Yes. We were French maids.
Yes, you were French maids. That was second.
I just want to mention, because you mentioned the Limitarians, and they had a great theme for a little while that had absolutely nothing to do with anything other than they had the car that the guy drove away from his wedding. It was a Citation X11,
yeah.
Right? And dressed as the wedding party.
And they renewed their wedding vows the whole 9 yards. Yes.
Fantastic.
That theme was better than that car.
Look, themes, here's the last word on themes. Do what makes you have a good time and own it and live it and ride it until it dies and you're ready to do something different.
And if you do it right, we'll support you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else for the good of the order?
Eric, last words on this?
Come to Hooptiecon.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Also, themes are good.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to
Hooptiecon.
Hooptiecon.
Listen.
Hey, actually, real quick, before you do the theme music, what hashtags do people need to follow on Instagram to keep up with all the awesomeness that is going to be Hooptiecon?
That's a great question that I don't think we even thought that far of, but let's go with hashtag Hooptiecon, one word, HOOPTIECON, and Radwood usually is pretty active, so hashtag Radwood, RAD Wood. That should pretty much find everything.
Epic. You got anything else you need to pimp besides the DFL podcast, which everyone should listen to?
Yeah, they're actually recording in 10 minutes, and I'm hella not.
No.
I'm not on this week because I have more Hooptiecon stuff to finish up. But yes,
but you spent your afternoon or evening with us. That's awesome.
Yay.
And we love you all the more for it.
That's because you don't actually have to prepare for us.
I don't prepare for the DFL, so let's not get carried away there.
Well, thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please push the subscribe button on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any questions or want to give us some show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page. Also, check out our 3-Pedal Mafia Race Team Facebook page or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com.
5-star review, get you a sticker.
5-star review will get you a sticker. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless there is no shiny side, then just keep the wheels down.